Hey, Bruce here, the 5-Minute Handyman. I am building some kitchen cabinets and wanted to show you the process for that. These are Conestoga built cabinets sold through the cabinet joint, and excellent quality cabinets. So let me show you how to assemble a 3-drawer base. And love to have you subscribe to my channel so you can see other home improvement projects and handyman activities. So let's take a look at some of the hardware and we'll talk about it. I've got a bunch of cabinets already assembled. This is a wall cabinet, then I have a base cabinet and another base cabinet, a couple of wall cabinets here. This is a 2-drawer cabinet. This one's lying on its side. What I like to do is, for the base cabinets, I have to put down some cardboard. There's plenty of cardboard that comes with the ready to assemble cabinet kit. But there's a groove here, and as we put glue in there to attach the face frame to the side panels and things, if we stand them up, what's going to happen is we're going to get glue drops down here, and we can take a utility knife and just kind of get that little goober off of there. But what I have found is that if we lay these on its side, okay, so this base cabinet is lying on its side, glue won't run out of here because we're not going to put glue all the way down to the very edge. We're going to stop about 1 inch from the edge so it doesn't squirt out or squeeze out. Okay, so these cabinets, I like to put them all this way so that I don't have the glue drops at the bottom on the corners. Just make sure that you don't put these directly onto your finished floor because you'll end up getting glue stains on it. Okay, so the package comes like this, and if I look at the numbers here, this tells me this is a custom base, custom size base, 3D, 3 drawers. Okay, and so each label is going to show me what cabinet that goes to. Okay, so this one is for that. We can have other pieces. This one is a CSW custom size wall. So this package is for the wall cabinet. Now if I've got several wall cabinets that are the same size, they might be packaged where they have the parts are spread between 2 different packages or 3 different packages. The shelves will be, could be in with 1 package, and then the parts for the cabinet box would be in another spot. But typically it comes like this, where all the parts that I need for this cabinet are in this 1 package. And so what I'll do is show you how we unpack this and figure out what we've got. Okay, so I've got to take this off so I can get my pieces out. This is the top spreader, and so I know what those are for. This tells me which cabinet it is. I look on here and I see that there's dovetails on the side, so I know that this is my base, the base of the cabinet, and I'll show you how that gets put together. By the way, the side that has the labels on it is the inside of the cabinet, the finished side. Some of the other pieces don't have labels on it, but it's easy to tell which is finished versus the unfinished. There's like a clear coat on there. Okay, so this piece, I see that I've got these ribs or splines on here, and I see a toe kick here, so I know that this is a left side of the cabinet. All right, we always tell it whether it's left or right based on looking at the cabinet. So the toe kick is in the front, face frame is going to go on here. Okay, so this is my left side, so I'll put this over here so I can reach it later. And I've got a piece that's wrapped up in some foam wrap, and the reason that this is wrapped up is because one side is going to be painted, because these cabinets are already pre-finished. So what I'll do is I'll take off protective material. Okay, and we can see that this is a nice painted surface. They do a great job with the finish on these cabinets. And the splines are here. So that tells me that this is the front. The grooves are here for the dados and the rabbet joint in the back. My toe kick at the bottom, so I know that this is going to be the right side of the cabinet. We'll set this off to the side. All right, now I've got one more piece here that goes for the box of the cabinet, and I've got two dado joints here. So this is going to be my back. All the rest of the edges are going to be square. So that's a back panel. And then I've got another piece which is wrapped in a protective bubble wrap stuff so that it is not damaged, and this is my face frame. And so what I'll do is I'll unwrap this, and I just want to make sure that I don't torque this frame around because it's, I wouldn't say it's fragile, but it's definitely something you want to take care with. And so this frame, there's 3 drawers in this particular cabinet. Now, most likely, this is upside down. Typically, we'll have a 3-drawer cabinet with a larger drawer on the bottom, middle size, and then a top drawer like this. This could be like a silverware drawer kind of thing. So, so you just need to be careful of how we're going to orient this to make sure we don't assemble this upside down. All right, so let me show you what that looks like. And so I want to do a first real quick inspection here to make sure that my frame is good. So I'll take and turn it with the outside up, and I'm going to check and take a look at each of these joints here to make sure that I don't have any cracks or that this didn't get damaged during shipping. I'll do a quick inspection of the surface to make sure that there's no paint chips or anything. This looks great. I like to assemble my base cabinets with the bottom to the right. If I always do the bottom to the right, then it's easy for me to see, oh, this is the bottom one because this is a large size. If I, kind of haphazardly just take the pieces, put them down, and I'm used to having this as the bottom, I could assemble this upside down. So that's just something I do. If I can reduce the number of potential errors, then I'm happy. Okay, so I've got some glue, and I like to keep my glue filled up, so I'll get one that's a manageable size, and I'll get some more, and I'll just fill this up so that it's easy for me to squirt the glue inside of these different joints. Okay, so first thing that I want to do here is put some glue inside of the face frame on the 2 shoulders where the splines are going to go in. And so I'll just run a bead down this side, and again I'm going to want to stop about 1 inch from the bottom and not go all the way up to the top. Go on the same on the other shoulder that's in there, and this way it doesn't squeeze out when I set my side panels in. Okay. Alright, so again, each shoulder will get glued to ensure that we're going to get a nice bond. Now again, remember this is the bottom, and so I'm going to take my panel with the toe kick area, and it's going to be to the right. And so what I will do is I will line up the top of my side panel with the top edge of the face frame. And I'll push this down and grab my rubber mallet and just make sure that this seats nicely. Okay. Okay, so now this is going to stand by itself. The other side is a 3/4 inch side. This is 1/2 inch plywood. This side is a little bit heavier, so I always like to do the unpainted one first. So that'll stand by itself, and then I'll do this panel, and then we'll also put in the one of the spreaders at the top. Okay, so to get that ready, I'm going to put the spreaders here. There's one going to go here, and one's going to go over here. All right, so now I take this other side panel. And again, the splines are set in here already. It's going to go on this side. I will line up the top edge before I push it in. I'll seat it and then hammer it in. Okay, so now I've got the two side panels pretty much installed. All right, so now my next step is to come around the side here, and I could probably just let these go, but I'm going to keep my hand on this first one just to make sure that it's not going to go anywhere. So this spreader goes at the bottom. Again, we've got these two ribs that go into the groove down here. So I'm only going to put glue just in the very bottom section. All right, do that on both sides. And then I'm going to put a bead across the front edge on the shoulder part so that that'll match up with the edge of this plywood. Now, I have a finished side and an unfinished side. I want to make sure the finished side is down. The top of the cabinet is going to get covered with a countertop, so you will never see that, but if you look in here, you want to see the finished edge. Okay, so this slides down pretty nicely, and then I just push it in to seat it at the bottom. I can tap, make sure I get a good joint, look at the edges, make sure I have no spaces there. This one we're going to put in just a little bit of glue at the top. Okay. And again, finished side, unfinished side. Now this one we're going to just get it in and have it just sit here until we're ready to put the back on. Okay, so I'm just going to put that like that. Next we do the bottom, and again I know that this is the bottom panel because it has these splines on it, which are going to go into the face frame. So let's add some glue to this area, and again it's going to be the same process. I'm going to add the glue on this, and I'm going to go just about halfway down, because what's going to happen is as I push this panel in, it is going to take the rest of this glue and push it all the way so that the whole surface will be covered in glue, and it'll provide good strength for this cabinet base. Okay, again I'm going to run a bead along the bottom edge, the edge that you don't see, so that it will not squeeze into the inside of the cabinet. Alright, and when I get done, I'm going to take a wet rag and wipe off any glue that's squeezed out. Label, finished side. So I put that facing in, and get these joints to line up. I tell you, Conestoga does such a great job with their machining. Everything fits so nicely. It's tight, but not too tight. So it gives a good joint, and it provides nice stability for the cabinet. All right, you can see there's a little bit of glue that squeezed out down here, and so I'm going to just take a wet rag and I will just wipe that up. You don't have to wipe it up, especially if it's in a section that you can't see, but if you get used to always cleaning things up, then it'll just make it a little bit easier when you put your stuff together, different cabinets and stuff. You want to just make sure everything looks clean and professional. All right, next step is to put the back on, and what I have is I've got a rabbet joint here, and then I've got a dado on the back that is going to need glue as well. So let me first put glue in the rabbet, and I'm going to run it on the side rather than on the bottom of the rabbet. I'm going to do it on the side edge, not not the base, because as I push my panel down, if I put it on the base, it's going to squish all the glue on the inside. But this way, it kind of, like these end panels, or like the top and bottom panel, it will squeeze it down into the area where you need it. And I don't want to go all the way down because my back does not go all the way to this far edge. Alright, so just, you know, same type of process for each of these different operations. And what I'm going to do here is put glue in the middle of this dado. And the difference between a dado joint and the dado joint and the rabbet joint is that the rabbet only has one edge on it. This one has two edges. And the difference between the dado and the dovetail is that the dado has square sides and the dovetail has angled sides. So, so this one, I can, if this had, well, I wouldn't be able to assemble it if it had a dovetail, because it wouldn't push down on here. So that's why we use the dados for the back panel. And so there's a scribe line here, which lines up with the center of my dado. So I know when I install this that I'm going to need to put some brad nails or pin nails in here. And that's the line that I'm going to follow. So I will put the seat. Alright, and what I do is I look at how far this edge is, this back edge from here, and make sure that it's the same on this side. Make sure it's the same all the way up. Now you remember this piece we didn't attach yet, the front spreader. And so what I will do with this is I am going to hold the back down, and I can look at this rabbet joint to make sure it's all the way down, and gently tap this up to make sure that it seats in that dado. Alright, so now I have all the pieces together, and because I've got this panel has just set in place, I need to put in some brad nails in order to attach this and waiting for the glue to dry. So what I'm going to do is take my nailer and put in some nails. Okay. You don't need to go crazy with the number of nails, because the nails are just holding it while the glue is drying. And once the cabinet is in place, there's essentially no stresses on the cabinet, and the integrity of this whole box as a unit is going to be very good. So when I do these pieces, and let's see if we can get a good shot of this. Alright, so this panel is a 3/4 inch panel, and I'm going to put my brads in, and these are 1-inch nails that I'm using. If I go too steep of an angle, it's going to poke out on this painted side. So I'm going to need to go at a shallow angle so that my nail goes down and it ends up in the middle of this piece. Alright, so we're going to do that all the way around. And then on this side, a very similar thing. But this panel is a 1/2 inch and this is a 1/2 inch. So on the angle I go, I'm going to want to go less of an angle so then it doesn't shoot out the side here. Alright, and so now I'll go around the back. Alright, we'll continue down this side here. Got 2 in ready. All right. Very good. So that's exactly what I wanted to do, get this all together. And again, what I don't want to do is I don't want to stand this cabinet up like it's going to be installed. Otherwise, there will be some drips that come through these this rail here where I put most of the glue. So first thing I do is I'll take this cabinet, turn it on its side. So I want to do first a quick inspection. And so what I'll do is I'll hang this face frame off of the table. And I'm going to take my rubber mallet. And I want to make sure that this face frame is seated on the splines all the way along the edge here. Okay, this is going to also ensure that my glue is seated to the face frame as well. Okay, and so I think this looks pretty good. I have a little bit of glue glop on the inside here, not too much. So I can take a wet rag, just kind of wipe that up. Got some along the top edge too. Just clean that up and it looks great. Alright, so that's the cabinet. It's all done, ready to be put in my pile. I've got a few more to put together and then I'll start assembling them to the wall. So thanks for watching. Love to have you subscribe to my channel so you can see other handyman and home improvement projects that I'm working on. And again, thanks for watching.